Hey there everybody, welcome to a special episode of Shaney Entertainment. So guys, today I'm doing a new segment I'm calling Shaney's Favorite Quotes with Impressions. What that is I'm going to pick a movie at random. In honor of the movie Creed, I'm doing one of my favorite movies of all time, and that's Rocky. Rocky's also one of my favorite characters of all time, and one of my most fun impressions to do. The Rocky movies never get outdated, and there's a reason for that, because it's a story about an underdog. An underdog story is something we all can relate to. It's about a man with a dream. We all can relate to a man with a dream. I certainly can. So when you have a man with a dream who's past his prime, thinks that his dream is never going to come true, decides to do something he'd rather not do, and eventually he gets a break. The one break he's always wanted, and this break may break him, but he chooses to go for it, battling through his fears to make his dreams come true. And that's why Rocky's always been beloved, and it always will be, because it's a simple story, and it's something that we all can relate to. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my top 6 quotes from the Rocky movies. We're going to start backwards from 6 to 1. So without further ado, Rocky, other than just being an underdog, has always been kind of a funny character, and I've always sort of related to him on that point too. He's a little bit slow upstairs. He's a little punchy, but he's not slow. Maybe a few too many punches, right? So I'm going to start with something a little more comical, something that shows his personality. First quote I'm going to do for you guys. When he's waiting to fight Apollo Creed. Before the fight, they have the fighter's interview, and he's standing right beside Apollo Creed, and the sportscaster asks him, "The money from your fight is very substantial. What are you going to do with the money?" And this is why I love Rocky so much, because it's his responses to these kind of questions.
But the first thing I gotta do is I gotta pay the rent. You know, well, I made this list on the way over here, and I was just thinking of things I'd like to get. I'd like to get a couple of hats, maybe a motorcycle, a couple of quarts of perfume for Adrian, you know, because she likes to smell good. Some Muppet toys, you know, like Bernie and Big Bird. And then a frog, you know, what's his name? Kermit? Is his name Kermit? And, you know, a statue for the church. And a snow cone machine for Paula. Hey, Paula, you like snow cones, don't you?
So that's quote number 1, guys. One of the things we always liked about Rocky movies was his trainer, Mickey. Mickey was one of those hard asses that liked to build you up by tearing you down. That was his whole thing. A lot of guys had dads like that growing up that would never give you a compliment. It was always going to put you down, but that putting you down was supposed to motivate you to build yourself up, to prove him wrong. And that's kind of what Mickey was all about. But he also, as a trainer, had a lot of weird methods, and one of them was chasing the chicken, something that Rocky didn't really want to do because he felt it was silly. So that's going to be part of my quote from Rocky movies, and that is number 5. Rocky chokes his chicken. You know, he's in an alley all fenced off with a chicken in the middle of a street in Philadelphia, born and raised, where the chicken spent most of his days. Now here's a quote. "If you catch this thing, you can catch greased lightning. Are you ready, Rock?"
Well, I don't know. You know, I'd rather eat it than catch it. It ain't very mature. But if you say so.
Neither are you very mature. Now listen, get this thing. Now go on and get it.
Listen, I'm a fighter, not a farmer.
Get him, get him, get him. And so he did. He ran after that chicken. Chased that chicken all over. And in a nice, typical 70s and 80s montage fashion, he chased the chicken in different segments until he caught it. And he was all proud of catching this chicken afterward. So you know, guys, you want to increase your speed? Chase some chicken. Don't choke the chicken, just chase it. So as I said before, guys, one of the most endearing things to Rocky, and what we can all relate to Rocky, is the fact that he's the type of guy who has a dream. And he was well past his prime to reach his dream. And he'd all but given up on his dream. Until he got that one shot. The one shot, you had to take that shot. And it was dangerous for him, right? Guys like me who, you know, who we have dreams as kids. We had great dreams growing up. We will still want to reach those dreams. And when we look to movies like Rocky, every once in a while, because we want to say to ourselves, you know, hey, I could do that. You know, if Rocky could do it, I could do it. Look, a little Rocky inside of us that says to keep going after your dreams. And nothing demonstrates this more than the number 4 Rocky quote. And the scene is he's sleeping in bed and he's pondering over the big fight. And he's scared. He doesn't know what to do. Opening up about his feelings. And this is a tough man. But one thing I liked about Rocky, he was always a tough guy, but he really never had that much of an issue talking about his feelings, which is, I think, another made him such a sympathetic character. But you see this rugged fighter, you know, showing his fear.
Yeah, Adrian, it's true. I was nobody. But that don't matter either, you know? Because I was thinking, it really don't matter if I lose this fight. And it don't matter if this guy opens my head either. Because all I want to do is go the distance. No one's ever gone the distance with Creed. And if I can go that distance, seeing that bell ring and I'm still standing, I'm gonna know for the first time in my life that I weren't just another bum from the neighborhood.
And that's kind of how we all feel deep down inside, right? That there is something special about us. Now we could prove it if we get the chance. And that's what this movie's about. And that's why I love that quote so very much. So alright, that brings me to my next quote. The next quote comes from Rocky 3. It's one of the first Rockies that I saw growing up as a kid. I saw the other two late after. When I was a kid, Rocky 3 was about the same, came out around the same time that I was able to go see movies. And so this was also my introduction to Rocky. And Mickey! Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. And this one, Mickey's intimidated. Mickey's a little afraid of Clubber Lang, the character by Mr. T. One of my favorites from the 80s is Mr. T. And he's intimidated by Mr. T. He tries to convince Rocky that he shouldn't fight this fight because this guy ain't just a normal fighter. That's the one thing you gotta love about Mickey, right? He was never one of those guys in your corner, and I always wondered why Rocky actually kept him around. He was always putting him down.
I wake up in the morning, you know, Mick, and the first thing I want to hear in the day, you know, I can't wait. I drink my juice, right? I drink my juice in the morning, and then I think to myself, hey, Mick, can you put me down today? Maybe you could kick me in my ball sack. Tell me I'm no good. Spit in my eye, you know? I love it when you do that to me, hey, Mick?
He's like a horrible trainer, right? He never said one, the whole time, I don't think Mickey ever said one nice thing about him. You're a stupid bum, I hate you, Rock. You sucked her over the hill.
Thanks, Mick. You're really building my confidence right now. I think I need to go back to my safe space.
If this was millennial Rocky would have gone to a safe space a long time ago. So here's my quote, guys. This is my number 3 quote, and it's around the same lines. This is Mickey's not-so-motivational speech to Rocky.
He's just another fighter.
No, he ain't just another fighter. This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry. And you ain't been hungry since you won that belt.
What are you talking about? I had 10 title defenses.
That was easy.
What do you mean easy?
They was has-beens.
Sit-ups?
Nah, they weren't setups. They was good fighters, but they wasn't killers like this guy. He'll knock you to tomorrow, Rock.
Now, I always wanted Rocky to respond with,
well, I'm glad you got my back, eh, Mick? You're always in my corner. That's what I like about you, Mick. You're always backing me up. You're always in my corner. You always got faith in me.
But it was always the same.
You're never good enough, Rock. You don't chase the chicken well enough.
So that's my number 3 quote, guys. Which brings me to my number 2 quote. It also comes from that movie. And it comes from the character that I actually liked a lot growing up as a kid. In fact, he was kind of an idol for me growing up. He's probably the second impression I learned how to do. The first one was Pee Wee Herman. The second one was Mr. T. And I used to go around all day, like, pretending to be Mr. T. I used to have his records. I loved him in the A-Team, his cartoons when he was on the Chipmunks. I loved everything about Mr. T. I know, I even wanted to do my hair like Mr. T, but my mom wasn't having any of that. Then I had to pity the fool.
I pitied that fools when I was a kid. No one would say it.
When I was growing up, I couldn't stop pitying the fool. Everybody I knew, I pitied the fool.
I pitied the fool.
I was pitying the fool all the time. I even told the teacher,
Hey, teach. You ain't teaching right. You teach me right, or I'll pity you.
and my teacher ended up calling my mom into school and saying, there's something wrong with your son. Your son is always pitying everybody. He's calling everybody fools and pitying them. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's got a real identity crisis. He's just going through his Mr. T phase. That was me. It wasn't a fool that I couldn't pity growing up. Had my gold chains on too. Nah. But I did pity a lot of fools though. Which brings me to this one. This is why I love this quote. What I loved about him, Mr. T, was all the characters he played was just so cold but confident. You could tell that he was like, he had a soft spot inside, but it was really deep in. But he was so icy cold and strong, and he was just like,
Don't mess with me. I'll pity you.
but yet he had a soft side. He was singing with kids. You know?
Just don't mess with them. Fool.
Which brings me to my 5th quote. So basically the announcer's asking about the second fight, what Clubber Lang's thoughts are on the fight coming up. When will the match take place? That's my announcer voice. Clubber Lang, when will the fight take place?
The sooner the better. Champion of the world. Nothing gonna be done about that. I can't be beat. I won't be beat. This time I'm gonna train even harder. Won't be no quick knockdowns. I'm gonna torture him. I'm gonna crucify him real bad.
Hard words from a hard man. So, Clubber Lang, what's your prediction for the fight?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
I love that quote. He just looked at the camera like this.
Pain.
He didn't care.
Pain. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna crucify him.
I love that whole speech. And I don't know, for some reason, out of all the Rocky fights, that one, he was an unlikable character in the movie Clubber Lang or Mr. T. But because he was Mr. T, I still was kind of rooting for, even though, you know, it's the movie, you want to go for Rocky. Still part of me was disappointed when when Clubber Lang and Mr.T lost because he was one of my heroes growing up. That's why it's number 5 on my list. Which brings me now, drumroll, number 1. And one of the reasons we all love the Rocky movies, it's the inspiration. And there's a lot of inspiration to be had by these movies. It's to see the underdog rise to the top. And in the course of these movies, there's been a lot of inspirational speeches by trainers, by coaches, and by Rocky himself. The best inspirational speech of all of the Rockies comes from Rocky Balboa, of all movies. And it's a very popular speech, and it's one that you should have on your iPod and listen to when you're feeling down. And it's this speech right here, guys.
This is my number 1 Rocky quote. This is Shady Shasem.
And this is Rocky talking to his son.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and very nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees, and it'll keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you could get it and keep moving forward. How much you could take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits. And not pointing fingers and saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Well, guys, that gave me some goose pimples. Hope that inspired you guys. It inspired me just to say it. And that sums it up. That sums up the Rocky movies right there with that quote. And that sums up how we feel when we watch them. That's why we keep going to them, and that's why we're going to keep going to them. Because Creed is the same, just keeps going forward with a different set of people, and that's why Creed was so popular. It's following the storyline of Rocky and the message of Rocky, which is don't ever give up on your dreams.
Take the hits and move forward. That's what life is about. So if you don't take anything out of these movies, the one thing you need to take, life will hit you hard, get up, brush yourself off, and keep moving forward.
Alright guys, that's where I'm going to leave you guys today, alright?
Don't forget to like my channel. Subscribe to the bottom or you're a bum.
Nah, not really, man. But you know, it'd be nice, okay? If you like, maybe hit the bell, ding ding. Alright, like it, you know, that sort of thing. Alright, till next time, okay? Yo, enjoy! Don't forget to subscribe, alright?
Alright guys,